I'm Maggie Hicks. That's a good question what I do. I ride a lot. That's where I started, but I have been most recently creating content for various brands, storytelling, and really putting together a lot of video and photographs for brands like Harley-Davidson and several others.
So I talked to Hector Cademartori, the last of the old guard, traditional pen and ink and the content generator.
Yeah.
And we talked about this dynamic intersection and how that technology doesn't exist anymore, and there's two generations now, not just one generation, two generations.
Yeah.
That new media and this content curation and all of that, it's a whole different world out there.
So yeah, it's interesting like how quickly people digest content these days. What I like about what Hector does is it's evergreen, it's gonna last forever. And that's something that this generation, it kind of like has faded away with social media and various digital outlets. So it's making sense that it's evolving and it's very quickly, rapidly digested. And then we're left with the task to be continuously putting it out. It's like videos on social media get seen for maybe 4 hours and then we're off to the next thing. So it's just a rapid change, but I have huge respect for the kind of artwork that he's been putting out for years.
Well, he's talking about 700-year-old technology. That's how he describes his job. You're talking about a 4-hour lifespan for content of any kind.
Exactly.
Consumed, digested, and forgotten.
Yep. And it's great, like I definitely started taking advantage of that. Like we have the internet and we have these tools that we can just run with it. So I actually started in 2015, I booked a one-way ticket overseas, and I've been riding motorcycles overseas and just working from my laptop from anywhere. So kind of having the freedom to say, okay, I can do my work from my laptop from anywhere in the world, and I can balance like a motorcycle lifestyle and like a motorsport lifestyle while on the go from anywhere. So that's kind of the nice thing is we can really live it now, and that's what I'm trying to do.
Pre-COVID anyhow.
Exactly, true. That's when it came crashing down. I actually was living in Bali, Indonesia for 3 years when COVID hit, and I like came back to the United States and was like, what do I do here? So I bought a 2021 Harley-Davidson and I put 30,000 miles on it last year and just worked from the road and hit all 4 corners of the United States. So awesome. I kept it going. I was like, I can't stop. Like, I can't sit still like that.
Well, it is the cliche, but motorcycles are the ultimate social distancing machine.
It
and
really
so you
is.
were living within the COVID guidelines and out, not locked in a basement somewhere.
Exactly. I spent a lot of time on BLM land, which is just free to roam. You can set up a tent and just go anywhere, and it was very socially distant.
Very cool. Hector didn't want to address it, but the next phase is NFT art. Is that where we go? Is that just one of these weird little offshoots that disappears?
I definitely need to spend more time looking into it, but it is a hot topic right now, and I think it is definitely something to take a look at, and brands should be considering that and partnering with people who are creators to do that stuff, because it is being taken very seriously, especially in the art world, but then being able to merge that. So I know it's probably a tough topic for him, but he should definitely get into it.
Well, and reverse, you say it's a 4-hour lifespan, but an NFT piece now becomes
exactly.
Well, evergreen, but it is certainly got a longer lifespan, maybe.
Yeah, and I think that's an exciting thing about it, and that's why we should dump some support into it as well too, because I mean, with a lot of pieces of art, it has to do with how many people see it, the exposure of it, and getting more of it out there. So it'll be interesting to see how these NFTs change that and keep art longer. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
Well, it's the old curse, may you live in interesting times, but we certainly are either cursed or blessed to live in very interesting times.
It's true. This COVID thing has been very interesting, and I think it's changed for a lot of businesses in this industry, and seeing how people adapt, the ones that are open to that new change are going to be the ones that survive stuff like this, I think.
Common denominator, a couple common denominators. Yeah. Motorcycles, we're still the motorcycle industry, we're motorcycle people, and now with our outreach, our recognition of the women in the industry, we're, 150-year-old industry, we're a little backwards, but we're catching up to that
exactly,
sort of thing. Same thing with the National Dealer Association. We're getting there.
Getting there,
Can't
for
rush
sure.
these things.
And I think that's where, like, people like me who are creating these things come into play too, is it's like kind of like bridging that gap, because we have huge respect for where the industry has come from. I love meeting people who have been in the industry like way longer than I have, but then how do we keep it relevant and keep connecting new people? Because for me, the biggest goal is like inspiring new people to pick up and get into it, is that it's like, you don't have to have a 100-year history to get into this. Anybody can just pick up and go do it. So I really love getting new riders on board with this as well too, and inspiring those people. So. And
we're finally seeing that MIC recognize that, and the Ride With Us program that Cinnamon's got going and things like that. But it's been staring us directly in the face this whole time. Pandemic threw the sales through the roof, and we're okay. But if it hadn't been for the pandemic, we'd have a shortage of riders right now.
Yeah.
So we have a golden opportunity to reset. We just got to reach more people now and get them on a bike.
Exactly, and keeping that younger generation like inspired, I think, by it too. There are a lot of people out there that are living the lifestyle now, and that's where the internet and all these tools that we have, we can pick up and make it a lifestyle for us, and that's what I think inspires a lot of people to get into it. But yeah, with the pandemic, I think it changed a lot of things, but hopefully in a good direction, and a lot of people, more people getting on the road, more people going out and adventuring, and then all the brands associated with it, like hopefully saw take-ups too, I think.
And for people that want to see where you are, it's themagghiehicks.com?
Yeah, it's on Instagram, I'm @MaggieHicks, and then I have themagghiehicks.com as my website. I'm still working on what I want to do with it. I'm going to be putting out a lot of YouTube content, I think, in the near future. Trying to share my story as I start this year getting into flat track racing. So.
Cool. The BTR program?
So I applied for it and I got denied 2 years in a row, so now I'm just going to do it. I'm going to go, I have my first training session at the end of February. I'm going to go to Mama Tried and check out the Flat Out Friday, and by next year I'm going to be racing in Flat Out Friday. So yeah.
Awesome.
Do a bike build. I've never built a bike before, so it'll be my first year racing, first year building a bike, and I want to share my story, because then hopefully more people will want to get into that, and more women, of course, will want to get into the sport as well too.